little haul from Leeds Forbidden Planet. I went there in August and met up with quite a few other manga enthusiasts from the Dudettes Discord. It was a really good day and I picked up quite a lot of manga. I wrote a list of series I wanted to look for and gaps I needed to fill in. So I didn't just go for random series. Once I got there, there was a lot that I wanted to get that I hadn't started collecting. So the list kind of went out the window, but I did look specifically for certain things. Because everything in the Forbidden Planet in Leeds is on 3 for 2, so I wanted to make the most of it and try and pick up as much as I could that I needed. But yeah, then there was so much. So let me show you what I picked up. Firstly, we have Like a Butterfly, Volume 1. This is a new release, although I do know that Volume 2 has just come out, by Sue Morishita, the same artist as A Sign of Perfection. This is an older series from around 2012, and I can't remember how many volumes there are, but I'm really excited. I've heard it's not as good as A Sign of Perfection, but it's a totally different vibe. It's a high school shoujo, and I haven't read this yet, but I'm excited to try it and hopefully really like it. Next, I was super excited to find these. I've been wanting to pick these up for ages because I've heard so many people raving about them. And that is The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter. I got volumes 1 and 2. They didn't have volume 3, so I've had to order that online. I have read these and I enjoyed them. I don't know that I loved it as much as everybody else, but I can definitely see the appeal. It's an isekai BL so far, that's all I can say. It's interesting. And I'm gonna keep going with it because I did like it. Yeah, everybody seems to be like totally raving about this one. I also picked up Frieren Volume 8. I'm a little behind on reading Frieren. I feel like it's been a while since the volume came out. I think I've read up to volume 5 or 6, so I need to catch up with this, but I really enjoyed the start of the series and it felt like it was starting to pick up a little bit more action maybe. So interested to see where it goes. I know it was on hiatus. I feel like it might not be anymore, and I know the anime is coming out for it soon as well, so I think it's going to be more and more popular. But I really like the kind of chill slice of life shonen vibes from this one. I also picked up A Condition Called Love Volume 3. I have only read Volume 1 of this series and I've kind of put off reading Volume 2 because I just don't know how I felt about it. But so many people whose opinion I value say this is a really, really good series and they like love it. So I want to give it a go. I want to keep going for a few more volumes to see how I feel. Most people who I talk to really do like it, and only a few people had issues with the kind of creepy vibes of this guy. I just felt like he was quite intense. I think it's up to volume 12 or something in Japan. I don't think it's even complete yet, so it's obviously popular enough to keep going. And I am going to at least read volumes 2 and 3 before I decide if I'm like gonna keep going with it. But it is quite sweet overall. It's just the like the intensity of this guy. Let me know what you think if you've read it. And I know I said I wasn't going to pick up any more, but I think I needed it to make up a 3 for 2. I also picked up volume 9 of Banana Fish, just because that was the next volume I needed. Next we have Beastars Volume 2. I've looked for this for ages, I just couldn't find it. So I now have 1 to 3. So I can give this one a try and hopefully enjoy it. I really like the art style. It's just a bit different. And I was also missing Volume 4 of Asadora, so I picked that up as well. Those were a couple of gaps I needed to be filled. When I first got to Forbidden Planet, I went straight over to the sale section. It's kind of like as you go in, just to see if they had anything that I wanted, and they had this full stack of Descending Stories. So I picked up Volume 1 in Newcastle Travelling Man, I think, because it was 50% off, and these were all 50% off as well. Random volumes though, 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10. but I know I wanted to collect it. 10 is the last volume as well, so there's just a few in the middle I need to pick up now. Yeah, so looking for volumes 2, 3, 5 and 7 at some point. Because I've picked up everything 50% off so far, I'm going to be quite picky. I want to get them all on a good deal. Next up, I was really excited about these just because I've seen a few people talking about them, and I've enjoyed the few manhwa that I've read so far and heard these were good. So I got my Gently Raised Beast volumes 1 and 2. I didn't know how I was going to feel about reading things in full colour, but it's actually really grown on me, and some of the details just really nice. But this looks particularly colourful, this one, so I'm really excited to get into it. Next, I got The Two Lions, which is a BL one-shot. I've looked at this a few times and wanted to pick it up. It's quite expensive because it's 7 Cs. It's quite thick, and again, I don't know too much about it, but everyone who I've talked to about it has highly recommended it, so that was on my list to look for. Next up, The Dragon's Betrothed, another BL series. This one has just recently come out as well, volume 2. Not sure how long this series is going to be, but fantasy BL. And I was so excited for this because I feel like it's been years. I think it's only been a year, but still it's a really long time. Volume 16 of The World's Greatest First Love, Sakaiichi Hatsukoi, is one of my favourite BL series from like when I was younger. This is what got me into BL, so I love this series so much, and yeah, it's been forever for volume 16 to come out, so I'm really, really excited. I haven't read it yet, but I've probably got another year to wait before the next volume, so, but yeah, so excited for this. Love Takano-san so much. And also from the adult section, I picked up Bite Maker volume 3. I can't tell you that much about the series because I haven't started it yet, but I think it's up to maybe volume 6 or 7 and seems to be quite popular. So I do want to get around to reading this at some point. Also on my list was No Longer Heroine volume 2 because I really, really enjoyed reading volume 1, and I have picked up volume 3. I don't think I've received it yet, but I've ordered it. And I really like that this series is just different from your typical shoujo where the main girl is quite sweet and innocent. She's not a particularly likable character, I think, to start with. I do quite like her, but she doesn't have particularly nice qualities, and she's sort of knocked down a peg, which is just fun to see. And I've had it described to me that this is like watching a slow motion car crash. I kind of agree. I really like that, so I want to keep going with it. It is an older series again. I think this was like 2010 originally published in Japan, and has just been picked up over here. There's 10 volumes in total, so I have volume 2 here. I think volume 3 is on the way, and volume 4 I've got pre-ordered now because I definitely want to keep going with it. The artwork is really fun, and I like the facial expressions. This is the best one. It's quite like quite realistic, and yeah, it's really funny, really good series. Possibly one of like my more recent favorites that I've read. And I really like hummed and hawed about picking this up because it's such a commitment, and I have so many ongoing series as it is, and this is a long one at the moment. Don't know if it's nearing the end or not, but everybody again, especially on Instagram, they seem to love it, and I just wanted to start. So I am not going to bulk buy this. I am just going to pick up a few and read them, and hopefully if I like it I will keep going with it. And that is Snow White with the Red Hair volume 1. Another very popular, well-known fantasy series. Shojo, I think it's romance, but I don't know that it's like an overwhelming theme. Maybe more like action adventure shoujo. But yeah, I'm I'm excited to have picked it up. The only thing I really don't like about it is the yellow spines and the covers. I just feel like they're quite boring. I think that's probably the main reason I haven't picked it up yet, which is stupid, but hopefully it is a good read. And lastly, I did bulk buy quite a big chunk of a series that I think has recently been reprinted. I am struggling to find a couple of volumes, but I'm looking for them, and that is Requiem of the Rose King. So I got 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I know that 17 is the last volume and I think it's just come out. I have got volume 1 and possibly a couple of others, I can't remember. So I think I'm struggling to find volume 2 and maybe 8. I'm not sure, I have a list. I really like the covers and artwork for this. It is the same mangaka as Ottoman, which I read like 15 years ago. Totally different vibe from this series. That was like a sweet, easy shoujo, and this is, I think, a little bit darker, more complex, obviously historical series. So I'm really interested to see what it's like and how different it is from Ottoman. Yeah, I really like these covers. Yeah, so that was quite a big chunk of the haul, but because I just haven't seen the volumes very often, I thought might as well, that's a good way to pick them up. So I think I'm missing maybe 4 or 5 volumes, obviously the last 2 and a few earlier ones which possibly haven't had reprints yet, but maybe they will soon. So that is 30 volumes in total, which is maybe more than I wanted to pick up, but there were so many things that I just didn't expect to find, like Descending Stories, and they were so cheap. Series I'd forgotten that I wanted to pick up, like the Jenny Ray's Beast and Requiem of the Rose King. Again, I just didn't expect to see them, so that's why I picked up so many. And a few of the other ones I was really looking for and was happy to find, like No Longer Heroine and Other World's books. So I feel like it was a very successful haul, and I didn't buy too much that was like off the list. I was going to be quite reserved in August and not really buy a lot, but I do have another haul, just things I picked up secondhand online and maybe when I went out once or twice. So it has not been a good month, but September I'm hoping to really rein it in. I know I have parcels that are coming that will be arriving in September, but they were purchased in August as well. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.